Hello, kings and queens, and everything in between. Suns, moons, and stars. Listeners near and listeners far. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have you here today. As you can tell, we're going to be working with cards. I have tarot cards, oracle cards, affirmation cards, lots of things to play with today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a spiritual life coach, a tarot card reader, and a Reiki practitioner in the Chicagoland Suburbs. I used to be an elementary school teacher and I taught for nearly a decade. But during the pandemic, I felt something stirring within me and I knew that I needed to leave my career and education. I needed to quit grad school and that I needed to be my wild and weird self publicly and fully. And that is when I started living a more radical life, a radically different life than the one that I had been living. I'm trying to show up and use my spiritual gifts and live out my soul's purpose. And part of that is creating a YouTube channel and trying to make tarot a little more mainstream. Spirituality is for everyone, and tarot and card reading is just one way that you can connect to spirit, to source, whatever you believe in. Cards themselves are not something to believe in. This isn't how I live my life. But when I'm making decisions in the here and now and I need some advice or some feedback from spirit, I go to my cards and I seek that out. So if you connect to God, then that's who you're talking to today. Maybe it's a loved one who's passed on that you would like to connect with. You could ask your higher self for advice. You could ask your spirit guides, your angel team. Again, cards themselves are not something to believe in, but they're just how we connect to whatever you believe in. This is my first pick a card video, and so I'm going to be talking a little bit more about tarot and the process as I shuffle the cards today. You can watch me pick the cards live. If you aren't interested in that, you can click ahead and find the group that interests you. Whenever I'm reading cards or working with a client, I always like to light a candle and invite the light in. The candle I had intended to use is not going to work, so I retire it. Good thing I got a backup. This is actually a candle that represents my birthday. Whenever I'm doing tarot or working with a client, I like to use a candle and I like to invite the light in. My mom taught me that. The light just representing light and love, goodness. All right. Today, while we're working, no matter what card pile you end up choosing, whichever one speaks to you, I still want you to set an intention with what you're seeking in this reading today. So I have this little crystal egg. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it in my heart space. And while I'm holding it, I want you to think of what are you seeking today in this reading? Near or far, no matter where you are, what are you looking for today? God, Goddess, Spirit Divine, thank you for these new friends and followers of mine. Today, during this reading, help me to be a clear channel so that whatever messages you have for this audience might come through. This reading is timeless. No matter when they access it, I know that there will be messages you have for them. Give them eyes to see, ears to hear, and an open heart to receive. And we lift up these things to you. So be it. Amen. So this crystal egg here is kind of like the seed of your intention, right? What are you hoping to find on the table today? So I'm going to leave that over here. The different pile groups that we're going to choose from, I have an art piece from the sun, representing the sun and the moon, divine masculine and divine feminine energy, el sol, la luna, prominent piece to me. The moon is a prominent symbol for me. So I chose that. The Merkaba, I think I'm saying it right, is on here, and this is a crystal pyramid. Pyramids, triangles are the strongest geometric solid there is power in threes. Threes are sacred. And there's some crystals there representing each of the chakras. And then my last object is a disco ball. I love disco balls. We all have the opportunity in life to bounce light back off of each other. I just love the symbolic messaging with disco balls. Okay, so just my little guy, Okay. When I'm working with cards, I always start with positive affirmations. I believe that our words are our spells. And so the things that we say, we are going to bring those towards us. The things that we say and speak out loud, that vibration, that is what vibration is going to sit within our cellular body. And our voice is powerful. That frequency to our body is powerful. We need to be careful the things that we say and speak out loud about others, but about ourselves. Positive affirmations can help us to give ourselves a better script, give our brain something good to say. This is the best daily dose of medicine that I could recommend for anybody. This deck specifically is the I Am deck from a workout program that I did that I just love this deck. It's beautiful, it's visual, it's just gorgeous, it's very well done. So that's the deck I'm gonna use today. All right, cards for pile one. My sun and my moon. While you're watching me today, you will maybe know what cards are for you as you see me, group two, shuffling, or the cards kind of, flip out. Ooh, I knew that one. That one, I just threw my hand and my ring flew off. My little, it's waves, a tidal wave. You're a powerful force to be reckoned with. I've been reading cards since I was 15, so that's 18 years. The first question that I ever went to tarot cards about was whether or not a boy was the one. Turns out he wasn't. And I'm pretty sure the cards told me that at the time, but I was like, I don't get it. Because we might go to the cards, but if you're not ready to receive the answer, it's not going to make sense to you. So today, take the cards that resonate and leave the rest. If there's a few things that don't make sense yet, don't discredit the whole reading, but just know maybe some of these things will come back around. Maybe there's another lesson to be learned that you are not quite ready for. Okay, group three. For those of you who have cards or like to use cards, I tell people there is no wrong way to shuffle. There's no wrong way to pick your cards. Spirit said that was it. But everybody else got two. Spirit said just the one. When you're working with cards, you're going to develop your own practice and you're going to develop your own relationship to the cards. You might see how other readers or other practitioners work with their cards. Don't try to mimic them in the way that they shuffle. Find what works for you. When I began, I would hold the cards in my hand and I would kind of like mix them up because I couldn't shuffle. I would mix them up until I heard stop. And whenever I felt inclined to stop, I would take the first few cards off the top of the deck, and that's how I began. Some readers, they say, open up your deck like a book, and you can do it like that. Okay, so I'm gonna now go backwards. We're gonna do disco ball first. You guys, did you see that one that opened like a book? We got the same card again, so that means it's important for group. Okay, our pyramid, our Merkaba. Oh. I also know intuitively when I'm like, put the cards back versus when like the ones that are flying and stuff, when that's for my group. This is a sacred self-care deck. Woo! By watching me, this is for the first group. By watching me shuffle my piles, you'll get to see a little bit of that magic that I think is missed in traditional pick-a-card videos, because that is that is spirit to me. That is the in-between, between the physical realm, right? These cards, my hands being the tool, but then allowing the energy to flow in between and being like the channel. That's like the magical part that looks so fun. I've always been drawn to like magicians and magic tricks, but I can't do any. And I know that they're just well-practiced illusions, but don't tell me different. I think it's magic. And so when I get to shuffle with my tarot cards, it makes me feel a little bit like a magician. Okay, now we're going to use tarot. Now we're going to use tarot. Tarot is like the hero's journey. It's where are you at in the story right now? You're the main character, but you're also the author. You get to make choices every day to choose the outcome and the direction of your life. So this is not something that we use to tell the future. It is just something that we use to get a reflection of where you are right now in the story. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes you're starting over, starting something new, on a quest, meeting new character. You know, there'll be messages there for you, but you can change the outcome. I can't tell you the future. It's just a reflection of where the energy is at right now. I interpret tarot messages as like from spirit, from source, from God, universe. That's how I use tarot. Hi, James. So I'll tell you the story some other time, but my spirit guide's name is James, and the card that represents James to me just came out in this first pick a card. So like my spirit guide is even here right now with me the first time I'm doing this, and that is like so special and so beautiful. There are the cards for group number 1. We'll come back to that. How cool. Okay, tarot for group number 2. Okay, tarot for group number 3. Okay. I already am like getting messages. I like shouldn't have peeked. I was too eager to peek, but now the things are already coming through. It's okay. All in good time. These cards here that I'm going to use, this is a gorgeous deck by Don Miguel Ruiz. He is the author of the 4 Agreements. I don't think he's the author of this deck, but he's not the illustrator. But some gorgeous artwork. We're going to use this deck today to kind of access your subconscious. What are you not listening to? What are the deeper messages and themes that you're missing right now? This is like the wake up call. Sometimes tarot is like that too. Sometimes tarot is like a slap in the face, but that's what we're going to use this deck for today. We'll start with pile number 2 first, just for fun. Everybody wants a turn to be first. That's like very much my elementary school nature. These are group 3, group 1. That was easy. Okay, now we're going to use an oracle deck. Oracle is your higher self. You are the god. You are the goddess. You are the warrior. These messages are coming from your higher self. That version of you that is like sitting in the throne, the king and queen, okay, that's you. You are the oracle. So oracle cards are a message from your higher self. At least that's how I'm interpreting them for our reading today. Group 1. Group 2. Oh, this one was flipped over as well. So passing that one to you. Group 2. I knew if that other one was meant to come back out, she would. That one was flipped over, but I was hesitant, and Spirit was like, yeah, sometimes there's just a lot of messages that come out. When I'm working with cards and people, I don't like to count the minutes. I don't like to count the cards because that doesn't leave room for Spirit. What is time anyway? I'm always late, so I don't really keep time well. So, The next deck that I'm using is Mary Magdalene Oracle deck, and I'm choosing to use this deck today because I'm honoring the Mary Magdalene within me, the divine feminine, and as like a daughter of that lineage, and growing deeper in my gifts and my abilities, I know that they come from the archetype of these mystics and medicine women. Mystics and sages throughout the ages have predicted this period in time, and I chose to incarnate right in the middle of it. And I honor Mary Magdalene and what she has done for the divine feminine and for the female archetype. So I'm honoring her here today. This one is for group 3. She said, group 2. Now, when you get your own deck of cards, or if you have your own deck of cards, I encourage you to shuffle, I encourage you to ask questions, and I encourage you to just pay attention to what you hear inside, as you're doing the reading. You'll see me sometimes being quiet. Maybe I'm looking off to the side. Sometimes I'm listening to my spirit team down here. Sometimes the voice is coming from up above. Where maybe I'm receiving more from your tribe. Everyone has a connection to their intuition. For some people, it's in their gut space. For some people, it's in their heart space. And for some people, it is more in the crown, the head. When we have access to all of those decision-making bodies together, mind, body, spirit, we are truly aligned. But really, for your own self, getting tuned in to how does your body give you messages? Is it in your gut? Is it in your heart? Is it here? Where does that voice of intuition or that nudge come from for you? It might sound like your own voice in your head. I find that for myself, if I'm talking out loud to myself, processing something, if I hear another voice chime in, I can trust that that is often spirit chiming in, or my spirit guides, James, chiming in. Some of you might access your spirit guides by writing. Some of you might access your spirit guides by getting to a quiet meditative state. If you have a hard time meditating, something I have found that is sensational. I can't patent it because it's nothing worth patenting, but tell your friends, tell your mama. I rock side to side, almost like self-soothing while I'm meditating and breathing. And I don't know, maybe it's something about like being rocked like a baby by the universe, and that just does it for me in a different way than traditional meditation, where you sit in stillness. But I find that sometimes rocking forward and back or rocking side to side is very soothing, but lulls me into a meditative state. So give that a try. Let me know how you like it. Let me know in the comments. Okay, this last deck that I'm using today is a Dear Self affirmation deck. I will link all of these decks in the notes. This is a gorgeous journal type deck where it has fill in the blank affirmations. So at the end of the reading today, some of the medicine I'm going to direct you to do is saying your affirmations that you got, and then also doing some journaling with this prompt. What does group 1 need today for their medicine? Group 2? Group 3? All right, group 1, the sun, the moon. Okay, we're going to start with our affirmations. Please repeat after me. I am humble. All right, group 1, the sun, the moon. Okay, we're going to start with our affirmations. Please repeat after me. I am humble. I make a difference more than I declare my importance. I make a difference more than I declare my importance. You do big things. You might not be willing to act like it or brag a little bit, but Spirit wants you to know it's okay that you don't seek that affirmation out from those around you, but Spirit wants to affirm you. I see you. I see all that you do. Whoa! That's what I just heard. I am relaxed. Maybe you've been working really hard. Now we're going to relax, have some replenishment. I am relaxed. I know that replenishment is key to a healthy life. I know that replenishment is key to a healthy life. So those are our spells to start. We're casting that over our reading here. Okay, some self-care that would be good for pile 1 to dive into right now. Reading. Maybe you used to read for pleasure. Maybe someone bought you a book recently. Maybe there's a list of books you've been meaning to read. Maybe you have a bunch of credits in your Audible account or something. But this is Spirit telling you during this rest and replenishment, read a little bit. Not so much for study, but for pleasure. This other card, this one's fun. Look for fairies. Look for fairies is about looking around your reality and believing that there are magic creatures or magic energy, or that the universe is trying to work out something for you, that there are little moments in your day where you're like, whoa, how did that happen? Or maybe there's a moment where you swear you didn't move XYZ over there and now you found something in a drawer, and it's just something very crazy that makes you go, do I believe in ghosts? Do I believe in aliens? Do I believe in fairies? And like for all of you viewers, that what is going to be a different experience, but it's going to make you go, oh my gosh, magic is real. There's something more than what I've thought this life could be. And that's the invitation, just to look for a little bit more magic in your mundane. Tarot messages. King of Cups. King of Cups. I imagine that this is you as a character. King, not related to gender, of course. It can be for any individual. But the King of Cups leads with both the head and the heart. Logical, analytical, reasonable, able to work leadership, planning, attention to detail, but also can lead with the heart, sensitive, compassionate, understanding, empathetic, very psychic, sensitive, intuitive. These cups in the King's hand just strike that balance, that when you really strike that balance in your life, leading with both those parts, the masculine and the feminine, you can find such wholeness. The next card that came out was the Five of Crystals. And it was the Five of Crystals in reversed. The Five of Crystals in reversed means there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So maybe you're in a leadership position, maybe you've been leading a team, you've been working hard on something, but the reversed Five of Crystals here is showing me that it's like, keep going, you're almost done with this project, the light is at the end of the tunnel. Crystals are about things related to home, career, money, finances. The Five of Crystals as an upright meaning, it just really denotes and signifies that passing of one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. That we are always encountering ends and beginnings, ends and beginnings. So keep moving forward into this next passage. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We have another message here that is also a crystals message. Two of Crystals. The Two of Crystals represents the need for balance. So speaking about that, the King of Cups, balancing the head and the heart, juggling the two cups there. The Two of Crystals, again, crystals relating to work, career. I'm imagining this is related to balancing maybe your work life, right, and your family life. Or maybe you have a day job and there's like a passion or a hobby that you have and you're trying to really do both, but you're feeling so pulled and it's hard to do both. But this card tells us and shows us that we're in a season of that requires a little bit of juggling, a little bit of being adaptable, being flexible with ourselves. In order to get somewhere different, sometimes we've got to like make changes, and sometimes we're having to do two things at once. There's a little bit of overlap while that change and transitioning is happening, and that's what I think you're doing right now. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel in this transition related to work. Our final tarot message here is Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups has a few different meanings. It can signify new beginnings, sometimes motherhood, sometimes romantic relationships. It's moments in life that leave you feeling a little bit giddy, a little extra spring in your step. Cups are relating to people and emotions. Maybe there's a new character entering your life. Maybe there's a new opportunity, a new role at work, or something that you're transitioning into and it's making you feel really excited, but the Ace is about beginnings. You're just at the beginning of this journey. As we transition from one phase, one chapter into the next, you're just at the beginning. I'm feeling a little thrown because the dog next door is barking so loud, and I hope that you can't hear the dog, but I'm very thrown right now by the dog. The dog. Okay. The oracle messages that came through, these are the messages from your higher self. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. There are people and resources you have that you can lean on. Maybe they are not your blood family. Maybe you don't have blood family nearby geographically or nearby socially, emotionally. You can make family and make tribe anywhere you are, but it takes you leaning out or opening, like reaching out to say, I need some help. Hey, I'm moving and I could use a friend. Hey, I need to drop my car off at the mechanic and I need a ride home. Hey, I'm almost negative in my bank account. I need $20 to get to the end of the week. Whatever way asking help looks like, whatever means you need to ask for help. It's just like lean out, reach out. You'll be pleasantly surprised by who steps up for you. The other oracle message that came out, who or what is triggering you? What right now is making you feel super frustrated? What right now is making you feel like pissed off? Anywhere in life that you have those emotions coming up, like that, it's that kind of stuff. I see it, I hear you. All of that is an invitation for you to lean in and understand that there's a mirror there. There's something in that person or that situation that you don't like, but it's because it reminds you of something that you still need to work on. It's reminding you of something that where you're still a little unhealed. Oftentimes those things that we don't like about other people are things that they exist within ourselves, and we need to give more grace, more compassion to ourselves and to these people. The judgments that we have about others are very much the judgments that we have about ourselves. So how are you being triggered right now in life as you're navigating these changes, as you have this new, maybe romantic, this new connection, this new energy? I think you're being triggered. You're being triggered in something with this newness. Maybe you don't think you're good enough. Maybe it's about worth. There's something that you're frustrated by, but you're feeling powerless. You can make change by reflecting on yourself and changing your choices, your actions, your thoughts. That is how you take back your power. This was that card that was about what are we not getting and we really need to hear from our deep subconscious. I love myself unconditionally. So maybe there's some things coming up here where you're not loving yourself, and so you're being triggered by other people as if that's making you feel unworthy or not good enough or something. But you just need to keep giving that love to yourself. Whatever you're lacking from the family, right? We're going to make our own family. Whatever ways we're being triggered by the people we're interacting with, we're just going to turn and give ourselves a little bit more love, a little bit more grace and compassion. With my attention focused on love, I justify and explain everything I perceive through the eyes of love. This makes it easy to feel unconditional love for all of the secondary characters in my story. The more that you love yourself, the more that you forgive yourself, the more that you hold grace and compassion for yourself, the easier it is to give that to the people around you and look at them and go, they're just a humaning over there. They're having a hard time. I remember a time that I had a hard time. I remember a time that I was going through that. Maybe you didn't handle it so well either. We all have the same experiences in life, the wheel of fortune. We just go through those things at different times. But we all experience the emotions and the characters. We're just playing different parts in the play sometimes. The Mary Magdalene message here is little children. Little children play, create, dance, sing, jump for joy. They paint, they write stories, and they do it without abandon. Without abandon, with abandon. They do it with reckless abandon. They don't care what anyone thinks. They're like, hey, look at this, I made this. Yeah, celebrate, show it off. Maybe you shouldn't be. Little children create not because they care about what other people are going to say about their work. They just do it because they're joyful, and they just do it because they want to experience and explore creating and getting messy a little bit. There's an invitation here to play, let loose a little bit. What can you do that'll bring you joy, happiness, satisfaction that isn't for your boss to say good job? It's not for your partner to say good job. It's not for your family member to say good job, or it's not for the recognition or a post on social media or a like or a follow or something like that. It shouldn't be tied to anything like that, but just like having a good time. So there's something here that's like, just do it to have a good time, not because of the cause and effect relationship of what we're looking for on the other end of, look at me, I made this thing. Just make the thing and have a good time making the thing. That's what it's about. Our two I am journal reflection cards here. This is a little bit of medicine to leave you with here at the end of your reading, group 1. Self-care. I feel ready for my day when I take the time to blank, blank, and blank. I eat when I'm hungry, I rest when I'm tired, I relax when I'm tense, I express myself when I need to be heard. I'm taking charge of my day, and I'm giving myself more opportunities to feel healthy all day long. That is a connection there to the King of Cups card, that discipline, awareness, that duality, right, of the leader, kind of like taking charge. I think this card of like leadership, right, like what you know up here in your head, what you know in your heart, like being the masculine and the feminine, like it's coming together in unison. These crystal cards, maybe they weren't really related to career. Maybe they were much more related to you and the body of your, like the house, the home of yourself, which is your body. The crystals relate to home, career, things we can touch, but like your body is your home. That's what I was trying to say. Your body is your home. And so maybe you're letting go of some ways that you've not been kind to yourself, some ways that you've not nourished yourself, some ways that you haven't really given and cared for yourself. And you're going to start caring for yourself now in a different way. Maybe you are like a workaholic, and so you're struggling to take care of yourself. Maybe you're like burning you're burning the candle at both ends, and then you're not really preparing yourself well for your day. You will feel more ready for your day when you take the time to do what? The other one was feelings. My feelings show me how much energy I'm ready to invest into people and situations. When I feel feelings like anxiety or anger, that means when I experience feelings like calmness, excitement, or I feel safe to invest more energy and explore. We as people, as individuals, have been taught for a very long time not to trust ourselves, that all authority comes outside of ourselves, all direction, all guidance. And so ever since you were a little kid, this is not just you, this is everybody. We all have been taught to trust in your parents. They know better than you. They know right from wrong. They are smart. You are dumb. Maybe you had older siblings that were guiding you. Teachers, mentors, coaches, whatever activities and clubs you did, political leaders, church leaders. There has always been guiding figures and forces in your life that you've been looking to for guidance, and you need to start getting in tune with how do those people really make you feel? How do those beliefs really make you feel? When you're talking to them and they're giving you feedback, how does that really make you feel? Trust your body as the temple and as your home. Tune into yourself. Remember talking about the intuition. It's either from your gut, your heart, or your head. Where does that intuition lie for you? And start trusting yourself more. Stop listening to other people so much. You need to get better connected to your own compass, or reconnected to your own compass. So those are your messages, group 1. You make a difference much more than you declare your importance. But you need to spend time relaxing, taking care of yourself, nourishing yourself. Replenishment is the key to a healthy life. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Anything in the world that you're feeling triggered by, those are the opportunities for you to lean in a little bit more and see what those lessons are there for you. See what's there for you. See how that's leading you to maybe need to love yourself a little bit more as well. Judge yourself a little bit less. Thank you, group 1. May there always be magic and mystery in your life. All right, and we'll move on to group 2. Welcome everybody to group 2. Group 2, you chose our geometric pyramid, the strongest geometric solid, the pyramid. This piece specifically just represents bringing that Kundalini energy all the way up through our chakras to light up every energy center. And that's like taking this egg, this crystal, and letting it come out of our crown. We are expressing this group here. I'm struggling to speak. I'm struggling to form words. This group of people here, you are here to do big things. Group 2, you have a clear soul purpose, a clear soul mission. You know it. Maybe you've been feeling it inside, a stirring inside, or maybe you're living it out right now and things are coming into fruition. But there's some big stuff. There's some big energy coming here, coming through me here. We're going to start with our affirmations. Please repeat after me. I am creative. I tap into my imagination and design my own unique path. Lovely. And I am adaptable. I accept changes and can adjust to any situation. I am adaptable. I accept changes and can adjust to any situation. Like zebra stripes there can change, right? Adaptable. This person, it says, I'm going to go in a different order than the last group. Looking at the oracle cards here. Oracle cards are the messages from your higher self. Trust your path. If you knew that you would be supported, what would you do? You've been questioning yourself. You've been living in doubt. My other cards here on the table show me crucifixion, judgment. I know that you've been living in a dark landscape. You've forgotten how creative you are. You've been judging yourself, criticizing yourself, just thinking you're not good enough, that it's just you're a perfectionist. It's just never good enough. It's never going to work out. And obviously, like, that's not a vibration or a mindset we want to hold, or something. That's not the way we want to speak. That's not the way we want to speak to ourselves. Maybe some of the dreams you have seem a little bit crazy or wild or out there because they're not like anything you've done before. We tend to grow up living inside a box, thinking we can only do a few things. Well, I can't take a drawing class because I'm not an artist. Oh, I'm not an actor. I've never tried out for a play before. Just because you haven't done something yet doesn't mean that you won't be successful or you can't be successful. Doesn't mean that, if you start dabbling in something, that it can't turn into a real passion or skill or talent of yours. And you know what this thing is because the next card here is Imrama, which is this invitation. And the question here is, where are you being called to journey to? For some of you, this might be an actual physical geographical location. Maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe there's a place that you need to visit. There's some people you need to see. There's something that you've been wanting to experience. There's something calling you that's been calling you. When I was a little girl, I used to always talk about wanting to camp in Michigan, and I would draw pictures of campgrounds in Michigan. I never camped in Michigan until I was an adult, but I always dreamt of it when I was little and kept speaking about it. So maybe there's something that you've known for a long time. Where are you being called to journey to? For others of you, though, this is a continuation of the trust your path. Where are you being called to journey to? You need to trust those crazy, wild thoughts and dreams you have and know that they're leading you down the right path. Keep walking. Seems a little crazy, but if you knew that you were going to be supported, and if you were guaranteed that things were going to work out for you, why wouldn't you just start taking little baby steps? A little intense there. The final oracle message here is Anna, grandmother of Jesus. It's a beautiful card. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. What this means is that you right now can't have the perspective of what you're going to yet do. You can't have the whole vision or knowledge of like all the things to come. We're not meant to have the whole path and plan. We're given little breadcrumbs along the way, and we just have to keep following the spark of what lights us up. Jesus's mother, Mary, right? Her mom is Anna. Anna had no idea that when she started having her family lineage that she would birth Mary, who would later birth Jesus. She didn't know what her grandson was going to be. You don't yet know who you're going to be, and you yet can't even fathom or understand what is going to come from the things that you birth and the things that you create. Trust the path. Begin the journey. Could be, there's that, what the journey means to you, so many things to all of you, means different things, but you knew it when I started talking about like, what's that path you want to walk? You knew. Could be a new career, could be a new passion. Maybe you want to start a family. Maybe you want to move somewhere. Maybe you want to start a new social media account. There's something there, a class. There's just something about a new path, okay? 10 of Cups, celebration, coming together, collaboration, all your dreams coming true, success, vision, like it's just like everything coming together. Whatever the things are, like, either you're soaking in the success right now, or it's the message here is like, it's gonna come, it's gonna be so good, so juicy when it happens. This is a magical omen. It just means all things coming together, work, love, friends, like it's just a beautiful omen. I hope that you're basking in that energy. And if you're not yet, trust the way that you're facing, trust your true north, and trust that it's going to bring you these beautiful things. Akashic Records. Akashic Records, this card here, it has the Merkaba, which is another sacred geometry that can be found here. But the Merkaba is Hebrew, comes from the Hebrew language. And it is that like sacred star of light. It is the vessel of light that brings us from one lifetime to another. And when we access the Akashic records, the great space of knowing, when we channel, when we quiet down this body, this earthly body, we power down. And we try to send up a cord to the Akashic records, to the 5D, where all the information is. You can send a message to someone up there. You can talk and do some work up there for yourself. You can get some stuff done energetically that you need to get done up in the 5D. If there's anything you're questioning, sit in quiet stillness and ask those questions. Ask those questions and see what visions come to you. Because the self-care that you are being invited to do right now is make an altar. Sit in stillness. Create a practice of, I hate to use the word meditation because I think some people are like, meditation is like trying to quiet the mind. And I think stillness and silence, be distraction free. For some people, it helps to have music playing, instrumental music playing. For some people, music isn't helpful. For some people, they might like to use a singing bowl or other like musical instruments. For some people, that's not helpful. But we need to sit and be still, making an altar. Maybe you would have some crystals, maybe you'd light a candle, sitting and journaling, but just like sitting and trying to connect to the Akashic records. You will have a better understanding of what you're trying to create, what you're trying to do. If you're unsure, you'll get some intuitive glances and some intuitive glimpses. For example, when I was wanting to create a YouTube channel but was unsure of it, I began to see in my mind's eye sometimes visions of me sitting just like this, or what other videos might look like. And I began to see it, but I was sitting in stillness and quiet and questioning, and Spirit gave me some intuitive glimpses and some vision there. The other card of self-care right now, deep breathing. And if you stuck around for the intro to this video, I talked about meditation or like breathing practice, how you could rock during breathing. If you find it hard to be quiet, you find it hard to get to a meditative state, rocking either side to side or like forward and back can be very soothing and can be very helpful to get into a meditative state when you want to talk to your guides, when you want to talk to your higher self, and you want to talk to Spirit to get some guidance. Because you need to get connected to the higher self and the higher realms, because sometimes here on the earthly plane, you're believing lies. Lies blind our faith and lead us nowhere. It's just like got the fan covering her face. When lies blind our faith, we fall into the illusion that we are separate from God, and we lose our power of creation. Real faith is having faith in life, faith in ourselves, and faith for no reason. From this point of power, we can create whatever we want to create. I used to believe that God was writing my love story when I was a young Christian. I used to believe that God was in charge of my life and I was just waiting for it all to unravel before me. And so when bad things happened, I thought, oh, I must have deserved this. And then I was like, why, God, why is this happening to me? And I was a victim all the time. I also felt very powerless when I was making decisions. I always felt like, well, God, what do you want me to do? And I didn't understand that God didn't care and God was there for me no matter what I chose, but ultimately wanted me to have the power as a co-creator. You're creating here and now. You're not just like in the passenger seat of your own life. You are the main character, but you need to maybe at some point you also, like if you grew up in religion like me, we are taught that you are broken, you are sinful, you are separate from God, and you will never be good enough, and you will never attain, perfection. You will never be as good as God. And so our whole lives we are spent in a striving energy where we're always trying, and then we are always in pain, and we don't feel power, and we really, it's just so sad. Whereas if we can trust that God, Spirit, has a plan, has a path, sure, but God wants us to step up and make choices in the here and now. You are a creator. You need to rise up in your power and keep creating. I'm going to read these Mary Magdalene messages from the book, if that's okay with you. Crucifixion. You are causing yourself much unnecessary suffering by thinking that you need to improve in some way before you can find peace and fulfillment. For much of your life, you have tried to hide the parts of you that you don't think are lovable. Yet the things you repress or hide resurface through external situations until you learn to accept and love them. A world of infinite possibilities awaits you if you can just learn to be yourself and love yourself as you are. Inside you, there is a shining star. Allow the light of your star to shine forth, and you will find that people will love you just as you are. Over the coming weeks, pay close attention to your thoughts. When you find yourself thinking negatively or fearfully, consciously transform that thought into a loving one and continue doing this until the cycle is broken. This will take time, dedication, and perseverance, but the rewards will eventually be great. The other message with that deck was the judgment. Love and accept all of who you are as you are. Every trait serves a purpose. And until you see the light within you, you will not see the light in others. How you feel about the world around you is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Everything you see in others reflects something in you. You draw people, situations, and events into your life that reflect what you are yet to love about yourself. As you journey through life, you may grow in wisdom, and eventually you will realize that many of your perceptions of good and bad, of right and wrong, were simply illusions. I feel like you're actually in a very high vibrational spot in life right now. I do think that things are going well for you, but your own criticisms and your own mental landscape is really preventing you from enjoying it. So I want to invite you to stop, slow down, begin some quiet solitude. Listen to the thoughts that you have inside. What's a lie versus what's a loving thought? Thoughts you have about yourself or thoughts you have about others, and focus on breathing. I would encourage you to rock with it. Soothe yourself a little bit. But there's a lot of good things unfolding for you in these places and things you want to go, and you're very creative and you have a lot of dreams, but you're criticizing yourself. And maybe people in the past condemned you and broke you down. And you've taken some time to sort out your path. No one is holding you back the way that you're holding you back. No one else is judging you the way you're judging yourself. No one is thinking the things that you're thinking. It's just happening inside. Here's the medicine with our I Am journal card. Evolve. I am grateful for my evolution. One way that I've grown as a person is by I appreciate my dedication to growing because it means I'm receptive to change. Evolving means I'm learning to bend during hard times instead of breaking. I appreciate my journey. I'm grateful for my growth and am excited about my future. And that's kind of the cherry on the sundae to me. You haven't recognized how far you've come. You haven't recognized how far you've grown, how much you've grown. You haven't recognized all the success and celebration and goodness. And that's what you're being invited to do and reflect on now. You are creating your own unique path. Trust that you are going to be supported. What would you do if all your wildest dreams could come true, if they were guaranteed to come true? Thank you, Group 2. May there always be magic and mystery in your life. Welcome, Group 3. Group 3 is my little disco ball, sweet disco ball. You have not been feeling in your light. You have not been feeling in your power. You have been feeling incredibly dark. And if you're like, Rachel, that's not me, stick around. Let's see where the card reading goes. Or maybe perhaps you will resonate with group 1 or group 2. But as I was shuffling these cards during the pile, I caught glimpses of these cards, and I immediately started getting messages about this group. And I just know that you've been in a place of suffering. The Empress is a card that represents divine femininity, psychic intuition, being like grounded to the earth, caring, nurturing, but also very connected to the psychic and sensitive realms. This is who you are as a character. You are this empress, this goddess. But lately you have not been feeling in your power or not connected to your true authentic power. Maybe you've been really like the moon, right? Using other people's light. And it's not your own it's not your own light source. You're not able to be your own light source right now. Because 7 of Swords, this is a card of deceit, betrayal. Someone's broken your trust. Someone showed you who they really are. Or you're questioning someone's intentions. Maybe something quite hasn't happened yet to give you like the concrete information you need to make a decision, but I want to invite you to trust your gut, because this card means that the deceit and the betrayal is happening. Or maybe you're being deceitful to someone. Maybe you need to be honest with yourself. But that card represents deceit, betrayal. Cheating could mean cheating, but there's something shady happening. Now, I want to move to this card, which I'm doing this reading in a totally different order than the other piles, the other groups. This one is what we're not quite facing. What's our deep subconscious message? What's our blind spot? It's my nature to make up stories, to interpret everything I perceive. All we're doing all the time is making up stories. We're taking in information from our surroundings all the time, and we're always just trying to gather and interpret information and look for patterns, but we're always telling ourselves a story. The story I tell myself is different than the story that my partner tells himself, even though we live in the same house. We can't help it. So we do it without even trying, but we're always telling ourselves a story, and our story is our own. Without awareness, I give my personal power to the story, and the story writes itself. With awareness, I recover the control of my story. I see that I am the author, and if I don't like my story, I change it. What you are thinking up here will manifest out here. Whatever you're thinking, and you're going to notice those details. You're going to be able to pull them together no matter what, because it's what your lens is. But become aware of what is real, what is a lie, what is a fear, what's a trigger. But also like tuning into your body and listening to yourself within. If you're unhappy, recognize that you can make a change at any time. You can write a new story. If you're feeling like a victim right now, or you're in some situation or circumstance where you're recognizing that, you maybe are the victim of some betrayal, some lies, and some deceit, you don't deserve that. You can write a new story with a better ending, some new characters. The higher self message right now is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? This woman here, her eyes are closed. All these hands are reaching out at her, and she has her hands out. You need to remove yourself from people, places, and things that are not serving you right now. Maybe your friend group has been very deceitful or is not, treating you with kindness and respect. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's your family, but like you just need to remove yourself for a little while. You will feel more clear when you've done that. You will feel better when you're a little bit more in your own energy. You're a little bit too connected and tapped out right now. Boundaries. Health checkup. This is the self-care card that came out. This is the one that also opened in the book when we were doing that at the beginning of this video. Health checkup. This could be go to a therapist. This could be the dentist. This could be the doctor. But you need to take care of yourself. This could be a spiritual practitioner. Whatever this means to you, you need to take care of yourself right now. Here's our affirmation. You know what's up. You know what's happening on this table. I am honest. Maybe you're having a hard time being honest with yourself, or maybe some of this is a little hard to digest. That's okay. That's okay. I assess my own strengths and move in integrity. We all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. We are not always riding high vibrationally and like always feeling and doing our best. We are not always a full moon shining bright. Sometimes we need to pull back our energy, be a crescent moon, be a new moon, and take care of ourselves. Take care of yourself. Set some boundaries. Remove yourself from people who are harmful to you, who are not being honest to you, to feel more like that goddess empress again, to rise back into your power. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others about what your limitations are. Maybe the boundaries that you need to create with people, they're not negative. Maybe they're not harmful to you, but you just need space to feel good about yourself. And so that means you need to withdraw a little bit. It doesn't mean those people maybe all are harmful to you, but you just need some time alone. Our cards for reflection, our cards for journaling, if that interests you. We have moments. Every day is a collection of little magical moments. When I'm busy, I don't notice moments like strangers laughing together or a compliment that makes someone's day. I want to be more present so that I don't miss the magic. I think blank is a magical moment people often miss. I want to look for and appreciate moments like that more often. And then the other message is resilience. Resilience is my nature. It's inevitable for me. I've survived every single one of my most difficult experiences. I survived, and I learned from it. I will survive too, because resilience is my nature. Resilience. That's a beautiful message here as we're kind of winding down group 3. That reminder that like you have survived in the past, you will rise again. You're just not connected to your power right now, but this is temporary. All things are temporary. I'm sorry that you're in a little bit of a dark spot right now. Winter is dark, right? But the trees outside, all the things, they're not dead. They're hibernating. They're withdrawing their energy. They're protecting themselves. They're saving themselves and their energy for the spring. And you need to do that right now. You need to pull back a little bit. Maybe you've been very busy and you haven't been finding much magic in your life. You will when you can take time to slow down and notice it, or be with yourself to notice it. But moving yourself away from these people and places and things that are not serving you will help you to find more magic in your daily moments, because a lot of things have been bringing you down. The last message here, eternal embrace. I'm going to read from the book. This is our Mary Magdalene message. Everything in the universe consists of complementary opposites. So there's no point in wishing that everyone around you was more like you. Accept this universal truth and you will avoid further disappointment. Every time you identify a quality in another that you don't like, pause for a moment and identify that same quality within you. If you have identified that quality in another, then it is sure to exist in you. If you can't see it within yourself, it is simply because you have repressed that quality. Every quality you think you possess comes with an opposite quality attached to it. You can't have one without having the other. Read and reflect on these following sets of qualities. Qualities and feelings to own and love. So we want to be honest with ourselves. Maybe you're deceiving yourself. Dang, maybe you've been deceiving yourself this whole time. It's not even about other people, it's you're deceiving yourself. Here we go. Qualities and feelings to own and love. Positive, negative, friendly, not friendly, happy, sad, peaceful, aggressive, strong, weak. This Venn diagram here, eternal embrace, like two becoming one. It's like we can have both and hold space for both of these feelings and both of these things at the same time within us, even though they're conflicting energies. Trusting, fearful, confused, clear-headed, spiritual, physical, responsible, irresponsible, considerate, inconsiderate, angry, calm, feminine, masculine, kind, and cruel. When you are able to own and love each one of those qualities equally, you will have made a major breakthrough, which leads to a newfound sense of balance and well-being. You are resilient, and you will rise back into your power again. Thank you for joining me for my first tarot video. You can find me in some other corners of the internet at Radically Rachael. If you want to book a tarot card reading or coaching or Reiki, check out my website, radicallyrachael.com. But don't forget to add the extra A, because when my parents named me, they knew I was going to be just a little bit extra. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon.